that men who are deeply in love are willing to do for the lady that they desire. So make sure you get your pens out. Specifically, number 5 is going to be a game changer for all you ladies that desires these relationships. So good morning to everyone. We're going to jump right into it. So I'm so excited. I have my computer right here. Any questions you ladies have, I'll make sure to jump on and answer those questions. Me and Adora support if you could pin those to the top. Any questions as well? Let me know if you can hear me as well. I know I'm using a different mic. Want to make sure it's clear. So this is exciting today. Good morning. Good morning. I'll get started with the number one men that are super in love with you want to do for you. The number one thing that men that are super in love with you, you'll know they're doing it. This isn't just what men are saying. I know a lot of times women want to know, okay, what will he say to me? How will he make me feel? What is he? No. What is he doing? That's the most important thing. We can say anything. We know how to make you feel good. We know how to make you go from a 10 to a 1 just by saying the right things. But you want a man that's going to do, is going to actually take action to how he feels instead of just saying some things. So the number one thing that men would do is number one is make sure they go out of their way to make sure you're happy. So a lot of times going out of their way to make sure that you're happy, it's not just saying things again. It's what are they willing to do? And it's small things, or it could be big things, but it could be something as small as you're in a position where, okay, I'm out driving around, you don't feel comfortable, you may have left something, it may be nighttime and you left something in your car. They're willing to come over and say, okay, I'll come and get it. You stay in the house. I'll make sure I get it for you because I don't want you having to do things that kind of compromises where you are. Or it could be just bringing you flowers. They know you love flowers. So weekly, they're bringing those flowers. They're making sure you have what you need at home. Even though they don't live with you, they're making sure you have everything that you need. So, and it also can come down to as well, if you're in a relationship and making sure you feel safe. So not going places or doing things that will potentially make you think like, okay, what is he doing? No, they want to make sure that you're happy, that you're comfortable, that you feel protected. So we're going to make sure we're not doing things that compromises that for you. So we'll even if before we got with you, we're going out all the time, we're hanging out with the guys. No, this isn't something that's healthy for our relationship. So we're going to make sure we want to make you happy. So whatever adjustments we need to make, whatever we need to do, if we need to pull up, if we need to bring you something to work, if we need to bring you a meal, whatever the case is, we're willing to go above and beyond. And these are things that we won't do just for anyone. We're not just showing up. We're not just going out of our way. We're not changing our schedule for anyone. So if a man is going out of his way, doing things that's not normal, that's not on his schedule, making adjustments in his life, is to make you happy. This man is in love with you, potentially, because he's really sacrificing some things that he enjoys to make sure that you're happy. Because in turn, that makes us happy when you're happy. So these type of men are the type of men that you want to be with, and based on our actions mainly, and not based on what we're saying. Because we'll tell you anything. Like we say all the time, we'll get engaged, we'll get you the ring, we'll say whatever we want to. We'll say we're in a relationship and have no intent. But that doesn't mean we love you. That just means that we're dragging things out potentially. But when we love you, we show action and we do whatever it takes to make you happy. So definitely make sure you take note of that. Let me just check some of the questions over here. Okay, I'll get to those questions in a second. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. Good morning. The number 2 thing men that are in love with you, that you'll see them, they'll go out of their way to do to make sure you're happy, is over communicate. And for men, that is so key because for the most part, most men are under communicators. Most men only say what is necessary. Most men have one word answers. Yes, okay, cool, sure. That's what you'll get from a lot of men if they're not really feeling you, if they're not in love with you, if they don't really want to waste too much energy with you. We'll give you a short, quick answer. But men that are in love with you, they're going to make sure you understand everything, how we're feeling, why we said it, why we did that. We're going to tell you as much as possible. We're going to over communicate. And in our case with Natasha and I may be driving around, had to run to the store or something, and it takes a little longer than normal. I'll call her and say, babe, I'm over here. This is what happened. Did you want something? Because we want to make sure we get ahead of things. We don't want things to happen and then you're sitting at home wondering, okay, what's going on? No, we're going to over communicate. We come home late, we're over communicating. We're out past the normal time that we're usually out. We're going to over communicate. If things aren't normal, we're going to over communicate. Even when we feel safe and are in relationships with you where we really love and trust you with our feelings and emotions, we're going to feel safe enough to even communicate and tell you how we feel in certain situations. Because a lot of times when we don't trust you, when we're not in love with you, it's a waste of energy telling you how we feel because you're not the person that's going to help me feel better. So if I'm telling you, I'm wasting my time. But if I'm in love with you and you're my partner, you're someone that I desire to be with or have made a commitment to, because also men can be with you for years and not be in love with you. So just make sure you take note of that. It's not based on the time frame that you've been together, but it's based on how he feels when he's around you, how much he trusts you with his emotions. These are the things that allow you to know if he's really in love with you. So if we're really in love with you, we're going to make sure we talk to you about things that are going on inside of us. We may have had a conversation or a disagreement, and instead of just walking away, which initially we'll probably walk away from it, but after just thinking about things, we'll make a decision. Okay, I need to talk to you about this. So we're going to over communicate, let you know how we feel. We're going to over communicate to make sure that we're leaving this conversation at peace and we're not dragging it out because we desire to be with you. We made a decision to be with you. We're in love with you. And it's a waste of our time and energy to let stuff drag out and go unaddressed. So we're going to over communicate, let you know how we feel, ask you if you're okay, and then make sure we can part ways in this situation. Everyone feels like they can move forward without holding on to things. So definitely, these are two of the top. We have three more that I want to make sure you ladies right now also get those questions ready and jump into the Feminine Energy Academy. The link is below. This is what we talk about all the time. We talk about relationship challenges, situationships, even ladies that's been married and are in a point in their relationship where now things are changing. It's a different point. You may have been together 10 years. The kids may have moved out. So now it's an adjustment in the relationship. How do we deal with these transitions in our relationships? We go over all of this. You can DM us once you jump in there. Let us know specifically what questions you have. It can be ladies that are looking to date, looking to move forward, potentially in marriage, ladies that have done the work, have everything that they need, just desire a relationship with a healthy masculine energy man. We go over all this in the Feminine Energy Academy. Some of the ladies are on here as well. Hey, I believe I saw Tisa earlier. Khadijah, how you doing? I'll get to your question as well shortly, Khadijah, but I want to get all of these points in just so you ladies can take notes and have all the information you need. So when you ask the questions, we can be direct and to the point with it. But definitely want you to jump in on that. So let me know how you ladies feel about the first 2 points and if you have any situations where you can relate to this, just drop it in the comments and I'll get back to it shortly. And make sure we get those likes as well. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. This information is life-changing. This changes your relationship, the direction of your relationship, and also lets you know where you are so you don't waste time in situationships where you feel like this guy really cares about you and loves you, but he's not doing, not saying, but he's not doing things that follow that we're speaking about today. So let me check out a couple more questions. Okay, yeah, we got some good questions today. But the number three thing that we know for men that number three thing that men that are super in love with you are doing and not saying. The number three thing, he's showing so much interest in your life. And it's not just showing interest in what you're doing. Like, what are you doing right now? I want to come over. Or can you meet up? That's not showing interest. That's just a conversation filler until he gets what he wants. Because no matter what you tell him what you're doing, if he's not interested in you, he's just going to go right past that point. Then he's going to tell you what he wants. But a man that is super into you, in love with you, wants to continue to take things to the next level, even if you're married, engaged, he wants to continue to grow the relationship. He's going to have real interest in your life. And that means what you do for what you're doing as far as hobbies, how you're spending your time when you're not together. What were you doing? Like, in a way that's just interested, not in a way that's stalkerish, like, why are you doing this? No. How was your day? How are you feeling today? How's your family doing? How's work going? Things that matter, just your life, because in those situations, we want to be a part of everything that you're doing. We don't want it to be like, okay, this part of your life, I'm not a part of, but I'm a part of your life when you come home. No, I want to be a part of your life throughout the day. And that's for me, that's one reason I moved to Canada when I was courting and getting to know Natasha. It was okay, it was cool to have a phone conversation with her. We talked on the phone. It could have been 2, 3 hours, it could have been 15 minutes. But my reason for going up there is because I wanted to be a part of her life. And that means what's going on with the kids, that means what's going on with work, just day to day, just even in times that's not the most fun, even times that's challenging. We want to be a part of it. So, me going up there, I knew that I would be a part of her life because I didn't know anybody in Canada. I didn't have any friends in Canada. She was the only one I knew in Canada. That was actually my, for I think, second time going to Canada. I had been in Winnipeg in my college years, but had never been to that part of Canada that she was in. So going up there with her for me was an opportunity for me to really get to know her and get invested in what she's doing in her life, how she's raising her children, how she's going about her day with her family. I really wanted to get to know all of that because not only was I marrying her, I was marrying her lifestyle, her family. I was marrying all that she already brings to the table. We don't come in asking you to change what you're doing and who you are. We have to see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, then we come in, but we're not coming saying, okay, you can no longer do this, you can no longer do that. No, this is what you're doing. Let me see if it fits with my lifestyle. It fits with what I believe. It fits with the things that are important to me. And if it does, then we can move forward. But it's so important we get invested in all of who you are, inside and outside. That's someone who's really in love with you and not just in it for what makes him feel good. Because guys that are in it for what makes them feel good, no matter what you say, they're talking about themselves. They're talking and telling you, well, yeah, I didn't like when you didn't call me. I don't something don't feel right. No, we're going to go out of our way. We're going to communicate, ask you what happened. We're not going to accuse you of things. We're not just going to go off the ledge and start saying wild stuff because we're feeling a certain type of way. No, we're investing in you. We're going to over communicate and really get to know what's going on, why you made those decisions, and then we'll talk and make adjustments. But we're not coming in accusing you and telling you how you can make me feel better. No, we're going to see what we need to do to make you feel better and invest in you, invest in getting to know you and everything that's going on in your life. So definitely, that's the top three things right there. Like I said, number five thing, ladies, this is what you're in it for. This is what it's all about, the number five thing. So I'll get to that shortly, but make sure you get those questions down there. I'll stop and look at a couple of them right now. Girls be like two. I'm not sure what that is. So true. I've noticed that, Khadija. Facts. Does it work? That's beautiful, coach. Let me see what else we have. Again, jump in the Feminine Energy Academy. We go so deep into this. I'll stop and answer a question from Khadija. I believe this is a question. I've dealt with men. Let me see if I can get it over here. Probably better. Okay. I've dealt with men I kept in my life longer than they should have because they said the right things, but their actions didn't consistently match the words. Shaking my head. I know better though now. Now though. And the thing is, so glad that you got to that point where you were able to realize that, Khadijah, because men that are serious about you, if they say something, they're going to follow up with it. And also, it's going to be consistent. It's not going to be something that you're still waiting, like, okay, he gave me a ring, he told me he wants to marry me, but we don't have a wedding date. We haven't decided where we're getting married. We haven't decided who's going to do this, who's going to do that, who's coming. He told me we're going to do it soon. And soon turns into years. So make sure when these guys are telling you things and saying they're interested and saying they love you, it has to be action that follows. And the action that follows has to be quickly. Now, it doesn't have to be that day, but this isn't something that you should ever have to bring back up in conversation. Anything that he said that he wants to do for you, anything that he's told you that made you feel good, and then he just forgot about it. It's because he may not be at the point where he's ready to move forward with you to that extent, but he enjoys being around you. He enjoys being able to come over whenever he wants to. He enjoys something about it, but not to the point where he wants to be with you. So he'll say whatever he needs to say until you call him out on it. And at that point, when you call him out on it, it's probably at a point where you probably need to consider other options. That's why we talk so much in the Feminine Energy Academy about rotational dating. We have courses on rotational dating, audios on rotational dating. Actually, Natasha has been working so hard in the background. We're releasing a dating and marriage. What is it, babe? What's the name of it? You know, I always get mixed up. A dating and marriage bundle for you ladies for Valentine's Day. This is so much information, so much value that she's put in this bundle. Can't wait to help you ladies with this information. She'll be releasing it in the next 3 days to week, I believe. But definitely make sure you ladies get this because it's really helpful and helping you ladies understand how men, provider energy men, look, what you should look for, and how to go about the dating process when you're looking to get married. Because one thing you don't want to do is get caught up in these situationships where these men are telling you everything that sounds good, but aren't following through with it. So much value in it. Next week at most, she'll be releasing it. So make sure you ladies hit her up in the inbox in the Feminine Energy Academy. Hit her up in the comments on her page. Whatever you need to do, you got to get this information because we want to make sure that next Valentine's Day, you have your testimony about your provider energy husband, you're getting married, you're in healthy relationships, and this information will help direct you in that way for you ladies that desire that. So she's super excited. Khadijah, that bundle is for you. Trust me. The bundle, and she's done so much with it. That's why she hasn't been on here with you ladies. She'll be jumping on in a couple of weeks, hopefully. But she wanted to get this out for you ladies because we want to make sure that we're not going through the same cycles each year, same cycles. He looks good. He's a nice looking guy. He has a great job. He's telling me all the right things. And then out of nowhere, he just stopped calling. What happened? Man, we had a good conversation. We were supposed to meet up, and now I can't even hear from him anymore. Should I call him? What should I do? All this information is in the bundle and more. It's just jam-packed for a low price. So definitely make sure you ladies jump on this. So let me see a couple more questions. That's what happened, unfortunately. Okay, let me get to the number four thing that men that are in love with you do. And this is so important. The number four thing that these men do is they introduce you to their loved ones and their close friends. So I know some of you ladies have been in relationships, and maybe the men are like, well, I'm just not ready to introduce you, and this is difficult because this happened or that happened, so I want to be cautious with it. Men that are in love with you talk first. They're going to talk about you to everybody. They're going to talk about you to their close friends, to the people that they're close to. And understandably, everyone isn't super close to their families. They may be super or don't have families. They may be super close to their friends and loved ones, whoever they're super close to and they value. They're going to make sure they introduce you to them. So their parents, their siblings, you will be talked about. You won't be somebody who jumps out of nowhere. They're going to know you. You're not going to pop up at an event and they're looking like, what's her name? Who is this? Which one is she? No, no. When you walk in, they're going to have open arms. They're going to hug you. They're going to greet you because this person has been talking about you in such a light where they couldn't wait to meet you. So they're going to introduce you once they're to that point. Now, men, for the most, and even myself, for the most part, are more cautious about introducing people into their family. For me, I've only introduced maybe 1, 2 people to my family. So when I introduced Natasha to my family, they knew it was serious. So men aren't just introducing any woman to their family. So if you haven't been introduced to their family and you've been around them for a while, they just might not be into you to the point where they're ready to take it to the next level. So action speaks so much louder than words. And we can say anything because we're just, we're trying to figure it out. We're taking our time. We're trying to get things in order, but we don't want to lose you. If we don't want to lose you and want to be with you, we're going to do what it takes. And something that comes naturally is we want to show you off and we want others that means something to us to know about you, to know that this person is different from the rest. And I'm making a commitment to this person because when they bring you around their family, that's a form of commitment. And this is a healthy energy provider male with a healthy family. Because I know sometimes unhealthy situations, they bring multiple people around and everybody's quiet and nobody's saying anything. But a healthy energy man and with a healthy family is really specific about who he's bringing around his family. And he wants to bring around someone that he really cares about, that he loves, that he plans on marrying and being with. So if he hasn't brought you around and you've been around for a while, really consider the nature of your relationship. Is it a situationship? Is it a relationship with no title? We're just together. When you come around, he's introducing you as her or a friend or as this is by your name but doesn't have a title. Then he's avoiding. He's really not looking at you in that light. But if he feels like he wants to be with you and loves you, he'll have a title on that when he's introducing you. Of course, I won't go into it. We're not big into girlfriend, boyfriend, especially at our age. But he's going to find a way to introduce you. This is the love of my life, something. So ladies, don't go for that girlfriend, boyfriend stuff because that has it's not recognized in the law. It's not recognized anywhere. And you can have as many of those as you want. So that doesn't make you stand out, girlfriend, boyfriend. Make sure you're the love of his life. You're his fiance. You're something that gives depth to the relationship and something that separates you from every other person. You're not his friend. You're not his partner. Well, I don't know what a partner is. I mean, we have business partners, but partner doesn't mean intimacy. Partner just means this is someone I'm around. That's a nice way of saying this is someone that I'm messing with, but we don't have a title. So that's a longer version of that. But make sure, because these are small things that we look past, but these are things that help define relationship. Because when you're introduced in a way that's uncomfortable, you're looking around and saying, who am I to you? You're confused yourself if he doesn't introduce you as the love of his life, as someone that he plans on marrying. If he just introduces you as Hey, this is Julie. Hey, Julie, this is my sister. This is my brother. Nice to, and they're like, okay, Julie, she work with him, or who is she? So make sure you don't have to make him say a certain thing, but listen out for that because that'll help. That'll be a small thing that helps define your relationship and how he feels about you. So it's so key for that. Again, we just put the link up, jump in because these conversations are normal. And these are the conversations that we need. A lot of times we want to feel good and we want to avoid certain conversations, but this saves time and this helps you to identify who that masculine energy male who desires to be with you is, because when we want something, we go all out. We stay up all night. We travel across the country. Whatever we have to do, we make sure we put the effort towards it to get what we want, because we understand that it's a battle out here. There's other guys that are pursuing you. You're attractive. You have a lot going on for yourself. You have your business going. You have a great family. You have great kids. Whatever that is, for men, that we don't look at that as being just a dime a dozen. We look at that as being special. And if it's special, we're going to make sure that we don't share this special with anybody else. So it has to be a sense of urgency from him that comes naturally, not something that you're pulling out of him, but natural sense of urgency when he really loves you and wants to be with you. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're thinking about that. So we have a couple questions. I'm so excited to go through these questions, but let me get to the number 5 point, and this is what you ladies are in relationships for. A man that is super in love with you, that wants to do anything he can to be with you. The number 5 thing, which in my mind is number 1, he asks you and wants to marry you. So he's not in this just to let it drag out, just to be in a relationship. No, he wants to cuff you. He wants to take you off the market. He wants to let the world know that you're special, that you're different than everyone else, because it's no better way for men to let the world know that you're separate, that you're special, that you're different from every other woman than to make a commitment to you in marriage. It's one thing to say, okay, this is the person that I'm with. We've been together for 12 years. We love each other. But if they're not willing to move forward with that paperwork, put things on the line, because it's a major step. You're putting your finances on the line. In some cases, you're putting your mental sanity on the mind, because some people just can't get past the idea that I'm married. So that's a big step for some people. So people are willing to take that step and get married, because we've seen so many situations, and we've been a part of, we've had parents that have been divorced. We've had friends that have been divorced. So if we make that commitment, that means that everything else aside, I'm dedicating my life to you. I'm choosing to join union with you. Everything that I have is yours. Everything that you have is mine. I'm choosing not to just go about my life and not be accountable to anyone. We're making that commitment, saying, I'm committing to you, committing myself to you, and I want everybody to know this. So if that's not what they're showing you or saying, if that's not what they're saying, ultimately, then they're not really in love with you. They're in like with you. They like a lot of things about you. They like your smile. They like the way you cook. They like the fact that you allow them to come over at 11 at night. They like a lot of that, and it's probably more the 11 at night than anything else, but they're not in love with you. And that's key for women to know, because men say things make you feel good. They give you that tight hug, and it just gives you chills every time you see them. They may kiss you on the cheek. They may rub your back. He's in love with me? No. He's waiting on 11 o'clock at night. All of this is to get me to 11 at night, whatever I need to do, if I'm not giving you these signs and showing you and saying these things, as well as doing these things that I just pointed out. So definitely make sure that's something that you look for. And again, you don't have to tell men to do any of these things. Men that are in love with you, you don't have to tell them to do any of these things. They're going to naturally do these things, but make sure you're taking notes and seeing Are they doing these things specifically, or are they doing things, saying things to make you feel good? So let me check out a couple of these questions. This is so good. This is from Khadijah. How long does it usually take for a man to fall in love with a woman he hasn't slept with? That is a great question, and it differs. I'll just answer it in general. If a man spends time, really wants to be with you, and he's at a point where he's falling in love with you, again, the sexual part is something that, as long as you don't start it, then men can deal with it. But don't start and stop it. Don't start it and then you want him to fall in love with you as soon as you say, okay, we can't have it anymore. That's going to put you in a bind, the relationship in a bind. But most men in relationships, I always say the first 3 to 6 months, we know if this is the lady that we want to marry. Now, sex is a part of most relationships, just in the Western world, the way things are now. But men aren't basing, am I in love with her based on sex? That's not, we don't fall in love based on sex, because men can separate sex and it's just the way things are. Men can have sex with you, but just move on right after it. It could be the best night ever, but why isn't he calling me? Because men do this all the time. You'll get into relations with them. You'll have a one night stand, or you'll go out and you'll meet someone, and then a week later you're having sex. That does not mean that he's in love with you. That means that he was sexually attracted to you. So men can fall in love without sex. Within 3 to 6 months, we usually know, is this the person that I want to be with? And it's more about the qualities, the wife qualities that we're looking for. Because the wife qualities is what makes us fall in love, not your body. I don't care if you have a BBL body. I don't care if you have a Coke body. Body, that's something that attracts us. But when you're talking about falling in love and marrying, men are looking at the wife material and the what are you doing like a wife? Do you carry yourself like a wife? Are you friendly but not easy? Like, and when I say that, mean you're approachable, but everybody doesn't have access to you. Those are the things that matter to us, because what we're looking at is, once I make this commitment to this person, are people going to come out of nowhere? Are they just going to be talking to anybody? When we're not together, how do they act? These things matter. Sex is good, and looks is what attracts us, but that's not what we ultimately make our decision on. Do we want to be with this person because we had great sex? That's not what men do. Men look at the wife potential in the ladies that they're considering. So hopefully that helped answer. Hasn't slept with. Let me see. I know we had a couple of other ones. This is so good. Those titles tell it all. That's the truth, Tisa. The titles tell it all. We can't get around that, because the introduction, when we're introducing you, it's going to naturally come out how we feel about you. It's not something that we have to plan and say, okay, what's your title today? No. Naturally, how we feel about you, we're going to say it to other people, because we want people to know this one. Because I don't men, and this wasn't me, thankfully, but men will go out with so many women and introduce them to so many people that it could just be normal introducing them. But if it's no feeling behind it, you're just another person. I just like going out. So I go out all the time. So every time, and this isn't me, but this is how men think. They go out so much, they're just socialites. They go out, they're just introducing women all the time. You don't know who the woman is, because they're always with different women. They just do it in the way where you can't question them because they don't show enough. But also you're wondering, like, are they with this person? And you don't want to be that lady that's just another person that they just go out with because they just enjoy being out with people. So that introduction tells it all. So be sure. I want, if you get introduced like this my good friend, or this is Julie, I want you to raise that eyebrow. Raise the eyebrow. Don't say anything. Go home and just consider who you're dating rotationally, because this person isn't someone who's taking you serious. Yes, thank you so much as well. Tomorrow, while we're talking about all of this, we have the dating master class tomorrow. This is going so deep. This is part two. Even if you didn't hear part one, part two is going to be so good. We're going into cultural dating, just dating, and how to approach dating with different people, cultural backgrounds. It could be not only where you're from, like what neighborhood you're from, what country you're from, just our experiences in dating and how it's worked for us, and just some of the tendencies that different cultures have, so you understand and you can make an informed decision. So it's not about don't date this person, date this person. No, it's good to know the tendencies so you can know what you're getting into when you're dating different cultures. So definitely make sure you jump in the Feminine Energy Academy. It's only for the ladies in the Feminine Energy Academy, but we're going to go deep into part two of dating in the masterclass tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you jump on, join the Feminine Energy Academy so you can be a part of that masterclass. It's going to be so good. Natasha has so much information. She's been helping people in the area of relationships for years. Thousands of women have gotten married with her information, engaged. Women have seen so much success in their life in the area of relationship because of the information that we're sharing tomorrow. So make sure you jump in. Let me see what other questions we have in here. Can't wait. I need that bundle. Yes, the bundle is going to be. I've never seen a bundle with this much information. Let me just go back. I know, Khadija, I was looking at your comment. I've never seen a relationship bundle with this much quality information. And this is stuff that you can embody that helps change the direction of your relationships, help you understand if you're in a relationship. Because sometimes we don't even know if we're in a relationship. We just know I like him and I think he likes me. That's not enough. We need the tools and we need to make sure we activate the information that we're giving so we can be in healthy relationships. Because a lot of times, and we don't, you ladies may not share it, but a lot of times ladies have time frames in which you want to get married. And it's for good reason. You want to get married in the next 6 months, in the next year. Natasha and I started dating 8 months later. We were engaged in 11 months total. So 3 months after we got engaged, we got married. The good thing is she didn't tell me that she had all these plans, but because of what she embodied, because of who she was, because how she approached the relationship, I felt comfortable. I felt like we need to move forward with this because this is a person that I want to be with. And when you're demonstrating those wife type of attributes, we want to make sure we take you off the market. So she was showing herself to be a wife, and I was like, okay, this is who I need to be with. So let me not waste time. Let me not drag out something that I know that I want right now. And that's how we are in life as people. If we know this is something we want, we have the means to get it, we're not going to wait. And if we have, okay, it looks like it's looking the wrong. If we have, okay, it looks like it's looking the wrong way. There we go. So if we have the means to get what we desire, we're going to go out and get it. We're not going to let that money sit in the bank account when we know we can just get what we need. And it's the same with relationships for men. If we know that we have everything we need, this relationship is what we desire, then we're going to make sure that we take you off the market. So it's so important to know that men don't drag out things that they're in position to get, that they desire. They don't drag it out to 2026. They don't drag it out, say we're going to get married sometime in 2028. We're going to do a destination marriage. No. That's 3 more years of no title. You have the ring. You can show the ring off, but that ring's going to need to be shined up. It's going to need to be resized. By the time you get married, that ring's going to be so old. But you're going to walk around and show people that you're engaged, but it's no proof behind that he's really made that commitment to you. And if also, this is one more thing, if your wedding date continues to get pushed back, or if it continues to get dragged out, we'll talk about it next month. Let's talk about it around Christmas. Let's put a date together later. And you're willing to do whatever it is, you've let him know it's not about the location, it's not about how much money, and he's still not willing to do it, then welcome to a market where people, you're single. Let me just say that. You're single. Enjoy your single life. You're not in a relationship. Let me check and see if we have any more questions. Thanks for staying by. I know the heat hit the phone and we were off for a second. So thanks for staying and jumping back on. So let me know if you all have any more questions. This is so good. We're able to help you ladies out. Yep. Then it turns into 5 years later. Any ladies on here, and this is a question, that have been in a relationship or that they can relate to what I'm saying about things dragging out, not having titles, getting engaged potentially, and the wedding date never comes. It never comes. Just jump on here, ask a question, put a comment down, jump in the Feminine Energy Academy, hit us up so we can help you, ladies. It's not just about talking about this, but it's about helping you, ladies, understand first, then giving you the tools that you need to make the changes that you need to get into a healthy relationship with a provider energy man. Yep. Then it turned into 5 years. Let me see if we have any other questions on here. If we have any questions I didn't get to, me Adora support, if you can put those questions at the top, that would be good. I've dealt with men I kept in my life longer than I should have because they said the right things. I think we went over that one. Khadijah, we're getting out of that season where we're just listening to what people are saying. We're just listening to what these men are telling you, and we're running with it. They can tell you anything, and you go out, and now you're changing your relationship status because of what they said. They haven't done anything. They've said something, you're changing it, and unfortunately, a lot of times, we're changing it to, what's the word that they use on there, like on Facebook, where you're not in a relationship, but it's something where it's kind of like, okay, we're confused or something like that. I don't know what it is, but you're changing your relationship status and he's not willing to change it on his end. No, I forgot what it is. Have any of you ladies changed your relationship status, ask him to change his, and he just leaves it blank? Then he doesn't approve it. It's not approved. That means you're in a relationship by yourself. Let me see. You don't want to be in that. Let me see a couple more questions. Friends with benefits? Definitely. It's complicated. No one should be in a complicated relationship. The only thing that should be complicated is a puzzle. It should not be complicated. It should be clearly defined. This is where we are. But if it's complicated, and if you're putting it up there, then jump into the Feminine Energy Academy, because you've accepted something you don't have to accept, because he said so many good things that now you're just agreeing with him. You may not want to be alone. It could be so many different things, but we have to deal with those, what's going on that's causing you to accept men that aren't making commitments. We're going to go over a couple more questions. Puzzles, Tisa. That's the only thing that should be complicated, not these relationships and you agreeing with them. I need action. I don't trust words anymore. And and this is old school. My dad always told me, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. That's not scriptural. But it's something that makes sense, because even some of the things that we see, we have to make sure, is this a show they're putting on? Or are they consistent? If they're consistent, then you can believe it. But if it's just something they're doing and what they're saying, don't believe anything that's said. Everything comes with action. Without action, then it's just somebody talking, somebody chapping their lips. So we're going to answer a couple more questions. If we don't have any more, remember tomorrow, in the masterclass tomorrow, we're going to talk about relationships and how to deal with different situations, with different cultures, some of the things to look for, because these things aren't just bad things. These are good things that you can look for in different cultures, and understanding that backgrounds matter. So if I grew up, like I always talk about, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, that means something. That means that I'm built a certain way. That means that I may think a certain way, and it's not all bad. It's not all good, but it's good to know, because it helps you deal with that person accordingly. Any other questions that we have? Tomorrow's masterclass, 9 a.m. Pacific time. go into that, make sure you jump into the Feminine Energy Academy, link below. It's so many tools, so much information in there. This is just part of it. It's so much information in there. We're in there 24/7. The ladies are in there 24/7 asking questions. We have an Ask the Man section where any question you have, you're in a relationship, you're in a situationship, you want clarity, we're in there to help you get out of bad situations and get into healthy situations in your relationships. Any other questions? It looks like we don't have any other questions. This is so good, so much information. So excited for you ladies that are entering to a new season of your life. We know Valentine's Day is around the corner, so make sure you jump on these bundles as we release them. The bundles are going to help because what we desire is that you ladies are in healthy relationships. You ladies are married. You ladies are prospering in that area, and it just opens up so much, and we just want you ladies happy in every area of your life. So make sure you jump on those bundles. Any questions, jump in the Feminine Energy Academy. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Remember, tomorrow, 9 a.m., jump into the masterclass. Love you, ladies.